That is having a reach advantage here. We'll see how he uses
The object is to crush your fist to a man's jaw, causing the brain to cascade up against the skull and explode.
Comes right at him. Another big bomb, and Ruiz is down.
One-punch knockout power. All fighters want to have it. Very few in the world ever have it. He has it.
Uses his height to his advantage.
Oh, big punch in 12-round heavyweight fight between...
Sacramento, June 1997. Into the ring walks star, undefeated Samoan puncher David Tua, already being called the Next Tyson. Looking like Mark Hunt's blood brother, he sent 23 of 27 opponents to the hospital. On the Samoans' hit list were Hasim Rahman,
Reckless abandon, Rahman is hurt. Definitely hurt.
Oleg Maskaev,
Maskaev is out.
and John Ruiz.
Another big bomb, and Ruiz is down.
But that night, blocking his path stood a man almost nobody had heard of, Ike The President Ibeabuchi. And that night would go down in history as one of the greatest wars the heavyweight division had ever seen.
You'd pay to see his fights just to watch him fuck somebody up. It wasn't a fight, it was an execution. You would watch him execute guys.
By 1997, nobody talked about this man at all, and they were wrong. Born in Nigeria in 1973, he fell in love with boxing at 17 after watching Tyson's fight against Buster Douglas on TV, the greatest upset in boxing history.
Oh, the uppercut. What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
Just 3 years later, he was the strongest heavyweight in Africa and emigrated to the U.S. with his mother. He took the nickname The President, and he was obsessed with it, walking to the ring in a Tyson-style robe and black trunks, copying his idol in every possible way. "12 knockouts in 16 wins, but against opponents nobody had ever heard of. Still, those paying attention had already spotted something special: refined technique, high fight IQ, a killer's instinct, born, not made.
But the fact is, the people, the judges, the commentators like you, need this type of fight to make accurate and sincere judgment who the best young heavyweight is.
The bookmakers unanimously backed the star, David Tua.
International Heavyweight Championship.
June 7th, 1997. Arco Arena, Sacramento. The WBC International title on the line. This was supposed to be just another stepping stone on Tua's road to a real world championship. Nobody was ready for what happened next.
We know plenty about David Tua. He lives out of Dallas. 5 years ago.
In certain instances, and it's no secret that he...
At the opening bell, Ibeabuchi didn't buy into Tua's early charge. He stopped him cold with a sharp shot into the body.
Good, he looks the part, and he's definitely willing. I mean, he's in with a big punch.
And he's coming off an 11th round TKO victory 2 months ago against Oleg Maskaev. That was an 11th round. Big sweeping right hand from David Tua. Ibeabuchi, though, look at it. And it looks like a very fast pace is being set early here.
Tua gambled on an overhand right from range, but the Nigerian didn't blink, immediately asserting control on the inside.
A heavyweight to have. He looks
11th round TKO in a fight that he was trailing on a scorecard.
He's willing. I mean, he's in with a big puncher, but he's definitely willing here.
There's that big.
Definitely, and he's I've never seen Ibeabuchi before.
Tua to the inside, shoulder to shoulder. Ibeabuchi.
He returned fire after getting hit with a good right hand. So, you know, he took a punch, and Ibeabuchi started out good with the jab, and he's kind of abandoned that. He wants to mix it up a little bit, but again, boxing's not the...
Age 10, and won a bronze medal representing New Zealand in the Barca head-to-head. There's that left hook from David Tua. Well, it's his first appearance on the big fight from the start.
The next rounds saw Tua walking straight into body combinations from a man nobody had taken seriously.
Years of this heavyweight division.
I like Ike's left hand.
Undefeated heavyweight prospect.
The Samoan tried not to get trapped in a phone booth, fighting at mid-range.
Left hand, he's got a good left hand, not just with the jab, but he kind of hooks off the jab, he goes to the body with the jab.
The Nigerian, meanwhile, worked behind the jab and unexpectedly unloaded power shots.
Getting a chance. He's constantly doing good on the outside, then he initiates, apparently, to go on the inside, which is definitely favoring Tua. He has good skills.
By the work rate, it just seems like Ibeabuchi never stops working.
Walking forward and running into combinations to the body, David spent 4 rounds contemplating eternity.
Never stops working here.
It's almost like, I mean, if you didn't know better, you'd think you didn't know they were going the distance.
Here's to see 2 men who may define the next 5 to 10 years of this heavyweight division.
It's a great thing to see from a heavyweight. I'm so used to seeing head side, and I'm sure his corner wants to see that more. Pumping the jab.
Really powerful puncher. Comes with the right hand again. But Ibeabuchi keeps punching.
And then pump the right hand right behind it.
There's a right hand from David Tua coming over the pimento.
The fight followed the same script round after round until Ibeabuchi himself started trading more willingly on the break.
Time to back up and get out of the way, but this guy seems obvious. It doesn't necessarily matter how it begins, it matters how it ends. And it's beginning pretty good for Ibeabuchi here, but they've got quite a ways to go.
Early pace. It's funny, Ronnie Shields in the corner of David Tua, almost as if he's listening in on our broadcast. He said the same exact thing.
He's going to keep motivation up. One thing I didn't like is that he asked him, how do you feel?
Neither man let up for even a second. It felt like their gas tanks were bottomless, and their will to win even bigger.
He comes in the form of that jab. He is committed to it early on. Left hook from David Tua, glancing blow. Tua keep turning Ibeabuchi.
Right, because Tua, I mean, on the fire. So you want to turn. Tua needs to move a little bit, not box.
Right hand over the top from Ibeabuchi against that jab of Tua. Ibeabuchi really hasn't.
Every time one landed a shot, the other only pushed harder, as if getting hit only fueled the fire.
Average guy, and he does a lot.
Be able to get off. Instead, Ibeabuchi with 2 left hooks before Tua comes back with a left hook. But Ike, punch for punch, a step ahead of David Tua. Into 3, Tua and Ibeabuchi.
Not a second of rest, not a single opening given to the other. Both men sank their teeth into the fight like 2 bulldogs locked onto their prey, neither one planning to let go.
Opponent for sure.
Scheduled for 12 tonight. IB7.
That's how it's basically gone. And that's, you can't bank on the one punch.
Warning from Lou Filippo. A body in that thud of a power puncher. It's been a volume puncher tonight.
Especially when he goes downstairs. You wouldn't think this is how he fights.
In round 5th, Tua finally landed his signature shot, and both men started unloading combinations in a brutal, old-school slugfest. That very left hook would later break the Nigerian's life apart, but right now, he had a fight to win.
But you could pile up points like that. There's no reason for Ike to fall in, which I think turned pro, and one of my trainers told me something I never forgot. He said, there's guys out there you've never heard of that can...
Left hook from Tua, his signature punch, and he catches him again.
But Ike stays right there with him. He's not afraid. He's not afraid.
Left hook of his own. Tua now opens up with a left hook, and Ibeabuchi returns fire. Good stuff. Double left hook from Tua. Receives one in exchange.
And I love the way he's giving Tua things to think about.
Double left hook by Tua closes out the 5th.
Tua found something extra. His opponent's timing stopped being a mystery.
Right hands and double left hook, and here now a left hook.
He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. There's a good right hand, but Ike takes him. And bombs from a guy like Tua. It's not something you want to prove that you can do. I think
will the experience of David Tua take over along with the power punching? He has gone into the championship rounds
just with a professional fighter, but with a guy that's feared, that's
left hook, and then goes down.
Ibeabuchi got shaken back to his senses, but getting the initiative back wasn't quick or easy.
He's not a tremendous defensive fighter. I think Ibeabuchi could zip that in there if he decides to.
Ike Ibeabuchi as we were.
I think he's also a little surprised that Tua.
While the Samoan leaned on quality, the Nigerian methodically piled up points.
Fight. So that's where the mental aspect of boxing comes into play in the corners.
Uppercut by Ibeabuchi, and then 4 punches by David Tua. Tua now with that shotgun jab, he's popping it right up there.
The comparisons have been made between Tua and Tyson, but the big difference is Tyson had those fast hands, and on the inside, he had blistering combinations that he let go to the body.
Even though by round 7, both fighters were nearly even in output, Tua kept betting everything on that heavy right hand. You could see it in every move he made, but he could never land it to finish the job.
To hurt you. Tua, with this fight, seems to be going with 1 or 2.
Tua finding the mark much better here in this 7th round, but Ibeabuchi isn't going anywhere. There's that right hand from David Tua, lunges in with the left hook, back to the right hand of Ike Ibeabuchi, end of 7th. And now here before the 8th round, he said you got to make a strong run at him. So maybe
he might not realize how well he's doing in there. They need to tell him you're doing well. They have to tell him he's slipping away. I think he might sense a little easing off on Ibeabuchi's part, and you have to be consistent. You have to stay with the plan. You have to stay focused. And a lot of guys, they're in.
Oh, good short right hand by Ibeabuchi. Uppercut by Tua. Ibeabuchi throwing punches between the punches of David Tua in that sequence. Right lead, left hook by Tua.
Statisticians counted a truly unique number. The two men combined for 1,730 punches thrown. Nothing like it had ever happened before in heavyweight history. Tua and Ibeabuchi even surpassed the legendary Thrilla in Manila, where Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier traded 1,591 punches over 14 rounds. It would take 23 years before Adam Konaki and Chris Arreola finally broke the Tua Ibeabuchi record.
Ibeabuchi would have been able to stay with this pace for this long, John Scully.
Ike doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to stay in there. Him is supposed to really start pumping that jab.
Such a critical fight. A fight that can propel. Oh, good uppercut from Tua. And that's what
1 and 2. 1 and 2. One of them needs
the left uppercut, the highlight of round number 9. And now Tua. Combination at the end at the bell. It seemed like a Tua round. Joe Tessitore, round 10. 2 undefeated heavyweight 5 from Ibeabuchi. Back to it. Tua comes in with the left hooks and tries to do damage with the right hand. Boy, it's refreshing.
It's like it's a big deal. But these guys are
more work from the jab. Tua goes to the body. We've seen short right hands on the inside, but nothing from
a good round for Ibeabuchi.
It really sure is.
And just with the jab, that's a Larry Holmes type of round. You throw the jab, work the jab, especially Ibeabuchi.
Good. Oh, here comes Tua. 4 or 5 punches. Ibeabuchi right back at him. And he gives it back to him. That's what he needs to do.
Round after round, the initiative kept slipping further and further away from Tua.
Very fair to say that the jab was the key weapon. Like the jab, this is a fight that illustrates what the jab can do or can't do for you. It's obviously got to be considered more than they thought he was.
The final seconds of round 11 could have gone down as the best moment of the entire fight.
He's been able to return fire.
Combination from Tua now, and Ike does herring for him.
I think it's just too little, too late.
Look at this exchange. Tua headhunting Ike.
He's not landing though. Oh, good shot.
Ibeabuchi.
But then came round 12, and it turned out even more insane, completely overshadowing everything that came before it.
We've been detailing. He needs some punch for punch.
He answers him back every time. He takes all the play away.
Now they go swinging in the middle of the ring.
That's what they needed.
Look at this.
The judges delivered their verdict, a unanimous if controversial decision for Ibeabuchi.
New WBC International Heavyweight Champion, Ike The President Ibeabuchi.
but Ibeabuchi would never be the same man again. After that fight, brutal headaches started tormenting him, and during a medical exam, the doctors missed what was already brewing underneath: bipolar disorder. If before this, the Nigerian had only been a nightmare for people close to him, beating up his own team members, now the voices and visions followed him everywhere. He demanded millions, pulled out of fights, and on top of assaulting his teammates, added attacks on sex workers, and one failed suicide attempt in a car with a kidnapped teenager inside. For that, he served 4 months. Stripped of his money, his title, and missing a full year, he returned in 1998. He beat Tim Ray.
No offense, Evander.
And there's that body.
And the more established Everton Davis.
Cool. Down he goes.
But any momentum toward $1 million future was quickly eaten away by circumstance.
Well, once again, Davis on the...
In March 1999, he faced elite contender Chris Rapid Fire Bird, a future 2-time world champion who would later toy with punchers like Tua and even Evander Holyfield himself.
What he should be doing there is hitting him on...
Bird mockingly slipped every incoming shot.
16 months. He's won a couple of fights since then.
But once Ibeabuchi trapped him against the ropes, he simply turned. Savage. An uppercut triggered the concussion, and he closed the show with yet another series of knockdowns.
Here comes Ibeabuchi. Oh, they can stop it. They can stop it right now.
This was Ibeabuchi's second win over an elite-level fighter. Big names were finally on the horizon. At 26, the Nigerian could finally move out from his mother's place, where he'd lived his entire life, and headed to Las Vegas for a new $1.2 million contract. But right after signing it, he broke again. He hired an escort, decided she was a witch, beat her savagely, then started making death threats. After his arrest and the full extent of his history came out, Ibeabuchi was sentenced to 30 years. Between forced treatment and repeated violations, he wasn't released until 2020. Today he's 50. He has nothing left except phenomenal genetics, immigration problems, and dreams of a comeback. That will never happen.
Throwing punches with reckless abandon, and Rahman is hurt. Definitely hurt.
Tua himself would go on to a long career after this loss, challenging Lennox Lewis for the world title in 2000, but never managing to take the belt. Like his opponent that night in Sacramento, he would forever remain one of the greatest punchers who never became a world champion. Ike Ibeabuchi was an outstanding fighter, even by the standards of boxing's golden 90s, a man who had everything it took to become a true champion. But falling victim to his own demons, he destroyed his career and burned through the best years of his life behind bars, where there's no room left for heroes or legends.